Alright, today we're going to make some fettuccine alfredo. What I'm going to need for this today is, I've got a whisk, very important, grater to use for our Parmesan cheese, which is right here. I like this DiGiorno Parmesan cheese. I think it has the best flavor for the best price for this recipe. We got some fettuccine noodles, roughly chopped mushrooms, sliced olives, canned, some heavy whipping cream, Philadelphia cooking cream. You can just use regular cream cheese, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, not garlic salt, garlic powder. I like adding a little bit of smoked paprika. If you get this brand, the Spice Islands, this is the best smoked paprika I've ever found. If you don't have it, don't worry about it, but I do recommend getting it because it's great to have with a lot of recipes. And just some regular butter. Over here, we've got a pot of water on that we're going to use for our pasta. Go ahead and start that now so that you can be cooking the pasta. That way, by the time the sauce is ready, you're good to go. And we have an empty pot over here, and we're going to use that to start making our fettuccine sauce. This is really easy. It's going to make a ton, so you can store it for leftovers or feed a huge family with it. It's fairly cheap. It's way cheaper than going out to eat fettuccine at a restaurant, and it tastes just as good, if not better. You don't have to add the mushrooms or the olives if you don't want to, but I prefer them. They add a richness to the flavor. And you get a little veggies and some healthy calories along with all the fat from the cream. So here we go. First thing you're going to do is let your water boil, and we're going to start cooking the noodles. Alright, when your water's about boiled, you want to go ahead and add in about a teaspoon of olive oil or canola oil if you have it. As a last resort, use vegetable oil and a little bit of salt. This is going to help keep the noodles from sticking together while they're cooking. We're going to go ahead and put them in and let them boil. Alright, for our sauce, we're going to go ahead and get our burner on. I cook everything on medium, high or so. But we're going to get our burner on. Go ahead and put in probably about 2 tablespoons of butter. It can be margarine, it doesn't really matter. And with that, we are going to put in about an equal amount of cream cheese, or the cream cheese cooking cream. Alright, let's go ahead and whisk that together. This whisk comes in handy during this recipe. So we don't want anything to burn. We just kind of want to mix these, get these mixed together. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and pour our cream in. Go ahead and do the whole carton. It's 16 fluid ounces, so 2-cup carton. We're going to go ahead and pour that in a little bit first, actually, just so that we can combine the cream and the butter a little bit better, and the cream cheese and the butter. And scrape the sides because you're going to have cream cheese on there. Go ahead and just try to get it all incorporated in. Now this cream cheese is going to give it like a richness, so you definitely want to keep that in there. If you make it without the cream cheese, you'll notice that it tastes a little more flat. Okay, everything's pretty much melted in, so we're going to add the rest of the cream. Keep in mind, this is going to make a lot of leftovers, but I'd rather make it once, keep the leftovers in the fridge to eat later, and always have something that I can make really quick. Just heat up some pasta and toss it. We're going to go ahead and add in the garlic powder, salt, pepper, and smoked paprika. We're going to add in about a tablespoon of garlic powder. It's going to be a pretty decent amount. For the smoked paprika, about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon is fine. I'm kind of at the end of my bottle here, so we're going to put in what we can. just going to add a little smoky flavor to it. So just do a little bit of light. If it starts boiling while you're doing this, because cream will boil very easily, just stir it around. You can turn the heat on a little lower if you'd like. Alright, just a couple dashes of pepper. Salt, be careful with. Start with about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Once you oversalt it, you're going to be in trouble, so just add a little bit for now. The cheese that we're going to add is going to add a little bit more saltiness, so when you're finished, taste it. If it wants a little bit more salt, go ahead and add it at the end. But for now, err on the side of caution. If you're worried, don't even add the salt right now. Wait until you finish. Just realize if it doesn't taste right, it's probably because it needs a little salt. Go ahead and add in the cheese. We've shredded about 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to sprinkle that in. Get as much of it in there as we can. And just whisk it around. Go ahead and do this until the cheese is melted. When you pick up the whisk, you shouldn't see any strings left on the whisk. We're going to go ahead and add in our mushrooms and our black olives. It's just one 2.25 ounce can of black olives and an 8-ounce tub of mushrooms, just roughly chopped, or you can thinly slice. It's up to you. Go ahead and stir them in. That way, since the mushrooms are raw, we're going to let the sauce cook them. If you prefer, you can saute them in butter and go ahead and add them in, or just put them on top for a garnish. But I prefer them to cook in the sauce. That way you get a rich flavor to the sauce. And we're just going to go ahead and let them cook until they're soft. Once your noodles are cooked, go ahead and drain them, add them back to the pot. We're going to go ahead and just toss them with some sauce and pour it into a plate or a bowl. And once you're finished, you got a nice little plate of fettuccine. I went ahead and topped mine with some grilled steak and a piece of garlic Texas toast. And you're ready to eat. And you can store the leftovers in these little nice 1-cup disposable containers from Ziploc. And go ahead and make sure to refrigerate them. Do not freeze them. It'll mess with the consistency of the sauce. And you're good to go. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.